Okay, now we're ready for rules 7 through 10, and we have the probability that z is between minus 1.5 and positive 1.5. This is very interesting. If we look at this, here we have minus 1.5, here we have positive 1.5. Draw my little dash line here. So I know I'm going to add two pieces of probability since my shaded in part crosses the 0 line. So I'm going to split this into two pieces. I have the area from minus 1.5 up to 0. And then from 0 to 1.5. But I know because of what I've learned recently that that first piece is the same as the probability that the probability that z is between 0 and 1.5, and I leave the second term alone, and I realize I've just written the same thing twice, so this is 2 times the probability that z is between 0 and 1.5, and it's actually 1.50. And that's 2 times, let's see, where'd it go? I didn't finish it. I believe it's 4332. And when I multiply that out, I get 4, 6, 6, 9. Is that true? 8. I lied. Okay, so it's 0.8664. Alright, let's take a look at the next rule. So we have rule 8. Sorry about the little discrepancy there. And let's say we have the probability that z is less than negative 3.02. So we have our probability, there's 0, and here's something like minus 3.02 sitting down there, and that shaded in piece. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, that shaded in piece, or the probability of that shaded in piece. But we know because of symmetry that this is the same as the probability that z is greater than 3.02. Aha, we know how to do that. We take the probability of the right-hand side and subtract out the probability that z is between 0 and 3.02. And that's going to be 0.5 minus 0.4987. And that'll give me 0.0013. Pretty good, huh? Alright, let's go on to the next one. So rule 9, we have the probability that z is between minus 2.89 and minus 1.43. So here's our picture. Here's 0. Here's minus 2.89. Here's minus 1.43. And this is the area that we're looking for. So we don't have negative values in our z table, but we know because of symmetry that we can write this as the probability that z is between positive 1.43 and positive 2.89. So then we're happy again because we know how to solve this. It's going to be the probability that z is between 0 and 2.89. And we subtract off the probability that z is between 0 and 1.43. So when we look those up, for the first term we get 0.4981. we subtract off 0.4236. And before we can say miniature schnauzer, we have 0.0745. Okay. All right, this rule. Let me flip my page here. And this is pretty straightforward. Rule 10. We have the probability that z is greater than negative 1.72. So here's our picture. Here's 0. Here's minus 1.72. So I'm going to drop a little dashed line at 0. And my area is this whole thing. It's really the probability that z is greater than 1.72 but less than negative infinity, positive infinity, my fault. So I'm going to split this into two pieces, the area from minus 1.72 to 0, and then the entire right-hand side. Okay, so we're going to have the probability that z is between 0 and 1.72 plus the probability of the entire right-hand side. And that's going to give me 0.4573 plus 0.5, and that's going to give me 0.9573. All right. Thanks, everybody.